Sometimes we have to deal with a lot of difficult people in our lives. Some people are just naturally aggressive and always looking for a fight. But let me tell you something. You don't have to get caught up in their drama. You can stay calm, cool, and collected, even when someone is coming at you hot. That's what we're going to talk about today: how to use your words to disarm an aggressive person. I'm going to give you 5 powerful verbal techniques that will help you stay in control of the situation and actually get through to the other person. Remember, the goal here isn't to win an argument. It's about communicating effectively and finding a resolution. So, if you're tired of feeling powerless and intimidated when someone's coming at you with aggression, keep watching because this video is for you. 1. Offer solutions or compromises. When someone approaches you with aggression, they're often in a highly emotional state. Not only are they not thinking clearly, but they're most certainly not looking for a fight. Often, they are overwhelmed by their own feelings and just need an outlet to express their frustrations. What they really want is to be heard and to feel like their concerns are being taken seriously. They want to feel like their voice and concerns are also being heard and that their issues are being acknowledged. That's where offering solutions or compromises comes in. By directly addressing their concerns, you can help to diffuse the tension and move towards a more productive conversation. So instead of getting defensive or trying to match their aggression, take a step back and say something like, "I see that you're upset, and I want to understand why."
Look, I understand you're upset, and I want to find a solution that works for both of us. Let's talk about what we can do to resolve this issue together.
By offering a solution, you're showing the other person that you're not trying to dismiss their feelings or ignore their concerns. You're demonstrating empathy and a willingness to work together. You're actively trying to find a way to meet their needs while also standing up for yourself. This approach can not only help to build trust, but can also set the stage for creating future environments rooted in mutual respect. This is a powerful way to de-escalate a person and get the conversation back on track by shifting the focus from the problem to finding a solution. It shows that you're willing to work together to find a resolution, and that can go a long way in calming someone down. Collaboration and compromise are key to resolving conflicts effectively. For example, let's say a coworker is upset because you forgot to complete a task that was part of a joint project. They might feel let down and stressed about the impact on the project. Instead of getting defensive, you could say, "I understand why you're upset, and I want to make it right."
You're right, I dropped the ball on that, and I apologize. I didn't mean to cause any inconvenience, and I appreciate your patience. How about I clear my schedule this afternoon and get it done? Would that work? Let's make sure we stay on track moving forward.
By offering a concrete solution, you're taking responsibility for your actions. This shows maturity and a commitment to resolving the issue, and showing that you're committed to making things right. It also demonstrates that you value the relationship and the project. This can be very disarming for someone who is feeling angry or aggressive. It helps to create a more positive and cooperative atmosphere. In the end, offering solutions or compromises not only helps to resolve the immediate conflict, but also strengthens the overall relationship. It fosters a culture of understanding and collaboration, which is essential for any successful team. 2. Creating clear boundaries. Now, offering solutions is a great first step, but sometimes you're dealing with someone who is just bound and determined to be difficult. They may continue to be aggressive, even after you've tried to find common ground. That's when you need to set some firm boundaries. Setting boundaries means clearly communicating what you will and will not tolerate from the other person. It's about standing your ground and protecting yourself from verbal abuse or disrespectful behavior. When you set boundaries, you're essentially drawing a line in the sand and saying,
"This far and no further."
You're letting the other person know that their behavior is unacceptable and that there will be consequences if they continue. Now, this doesn't mean you have to be aggressive or confrontational. In fact, it's important to remain calm and assertive when setting boundaries. Use a firm but respectful tone of voice and clearly state what you will and will not accept. For example, you could say something like,
"I understand you're upset, but please don't speak to me in that tone of voice." Or, "I'm willing to listen to your concerns, but I'm not willing to engage in a shouting match."
3. Add definitive language. Listen, When you're dealing with an aggressive person, it's important to be clear and direct with your communication. You don't want to beat around the bush or sugarcoat things, because that just leaves room for misunderstanding and manipulation. That's where definitive language comes in. This means using strong, assertive language that leaves no room for interpretation. It's about saying what you mean and meaning what you say. For example, instead of saying, "I kind of feel like you're not listening to me," you could say, "I need you to listen to what I'm saying." See the difference? The second statement is much more direct and leaves no room for doubt. Another way to use definitive language is to avoid using qualifiers like maybe, perhaps, or sort of. These words weaken your message and make you sound unsure of yourself. Instead, use strong, definitive words like yes, no, absolutely, and definitely. This shows that you're confident in what you're saying and that you're not going to be swayed by the other person's aggression. 4. Be matter-of-factly. Look, one of the worst things you can do when dealing with an aggressive person is to get emotional yourself. Emotions can cloud your judgment and make it difficult to think clearly. When you get caught up in the heat of the moment, you're more likely to say or do something you'll regret later. These impulsive reactions can damage relationships and escalate conflicts. Plus, it just adds fuel to the fire and makes it harder to resolve the situation. The more emotional you get, the more the other person might feel justified in their own anger. That's why it's so important to stay calm, cool, and collected, even when the other person is losing their cool. Your calmness can serve as a stabilizing force in the conversation, and the best way to do that is to be matter-of-fact in your communication. This approach helps you maintain control over the situation. Being matter-of-fact means sticking to the facts of the situation and avoiding any emotional language or outbursts. It's about focusing on what's actually happening rather than how you feel about it. It's about presenting your perspective in a clear, concise, and unemotional way. This clarity can help the other person understand your point without feeling attacked.
That's not true. How dare you accuse me of that?
Instead of getting defensive and saying something like that, you could say,
I understand you're upset, but I want to be clear that I did not do what you're accusing me of. This way, you acknowledge their feelings without agreeing with their accusations.
See the difference? The way you respond can either escalate or de-escalate the situation. The first statement is emotional and reactive, which can provoke further conflict, while the second statement is calm, assertive, and focuses on the facts. It helps to keep the conversation productive and respectful. By staying matter-of-fact, you can de-escalate the situation and prevent it from spiraling out of control. This approach not only helps in resolving the current conflict, but also sets a positive tone for future interactions. 5. Use intelligent advice. Now, this last technique is all about shifting the power dynamic in your favor. It's about using your intellect and emotional intelligence to navigate challenging interactions. When you offer intelligent advice to someone who's being aggressive, you're essentially taking the high road and positioning yourself as the voice of reason. This approach not only helps in calming the situation, but also establishes you as a thoughtful and composed individual. This can be a very effective way to disarm someone who's trying to intimidate or bully you, because it shows that you're not going to stoop to their level. Instead, you're demonstrating maturity and control. By maintaining your composure, you're sending a clear message that you're in control of your emotions and the situation, something they're clearly not capable of doing. Instead, you're going to rise above the fray and offer helpful guidance. This not only helps in resolving the immediate conflict, but also sets a positive example for others around you.
The key here is to offer advice that is relevant to the situation and that is genuinely helpful. It's important to listen carefully to what the other person is saying and understand their perspective before offering your advice. Don't just spout off random platitudes or try to sound like you know everything. This can come off as condescending and may even escalate the situation. Instead, think about what has worked for you in similar situations and share those strategies. For example, let's say a coworker is stressed out about a project and starts taking it out on you. This is a common scenario in high-pressure environments. Instead of getting defensive, you could say something like, I know you're feeling overwhelmed right now and I've been there. Acknowledging their feelings can help in de-escalating the situation. Something that helps me is to break down big projects into smaller, more manageable tasks. Have you tried that? Offering a practical solution shows that you're empathetic and willing to help.
By offering intelligent advice, you're showing the other person that you're on their side and that you want to help them succeed. This can foster a sense of teamwork and collaboration. This can be a powerful way to build rapport and diffuse a tense situation. Over time, this approach can help in building a more positive and supportive work environment where everyone feels valued and respected. So, there you have it. 5 powerful verbal techniques that you can use to calmly disarm an aggressive person. Remember, offer solutions, set boundaries, use definitive language, be matter-of-fact, and offer intelligent advice. These techniques are all about staying in control of yourself and the situation, even when someone is trying to push your buttons. And the more you practice them, the more natural they will become. So, the next time you find yourself facing off with an aggressive person, don't let them get the best of you. Use these techniques to stay calm, stand your ground, and come out on top. And remember, sometimes the best way to win a fight is to avoid it altogether. Subscribe to my channel for emotional intelligence content that will give you an edge over 95% of the population.